Welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, Iodelle Chinnery, who's the CEO and founder of Best Leaders Consulting. She'll be with us for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV.
Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered.
Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. Like I said, I have a very special guest for you, Ms. Iodelle Chinnery, who's the CEO of Best Leaders Consulting. Welcome to the program.
And thank you for having me, Lydia.
It's great to have you here. Definitely doing some big things in the community, so we love highlighting that. That's actually something that we really pride ourselves on here at Beyond Focus TV, is the fact that we really give shine to those who are up and coming and doing great things that our viewers can actually take advantage of. So definitely by the end of the program, you're going to want to really take some notes, because Iodelle has a great event coming up just in time for the holidays, so it's going to be great. But before we get into all of that in the event, let's talk about how this all got started. What is Best Leaders Consulting?
Okay, Best Leaders Consulting is a consulting firm that is based in New York. We provide consulting services to businesses, various kinds of businesses in our community, not only in New York City, but nationally and internationally. We provide program development services, staff development services, conference, event planning, and marketing services for businesses that are interested in getting their business out there to reach the consumers.
That's pretty interesting when you think about it, because a lot of times businesses need to seek counsel. People think it's just before you actually get started, but you can actually work with businesses who are already maybe in their second, third, or even fourth year coming up.
Yes, and we work with businesses from ground up. So if they're now starting up and they need counsel, guidance in terms of how to write their mission statements, how to write their goals and their objectives to line up to their mission statement, we work with them. We help them through the entire process and the step in terms of their business plan and writing it and structuring. Our consultants are available to help them with that.
So right now, how big is your team? Because I heard you mention consultants.
Yes. Well, my team is not that huge, but I do have 3 consultants that I work alongside.
That's not too bad. It's enough for you to have a good base.
Yes.
What are some of the types of businesses right now?
Right now, we've been heavily focusing in terms of the beauty, health, and wellness industries, in terms of helping them with their goals and their objectives. I've gotten clients in terms of proposal writing from the community, non-for-profit, and we are working with like creating events and conferences where they can come out and to talk about their businesses as well. So I started out with one conference in the beginning, which was in 2004, which was Launching Your Vision. And I took a break for a while from conferences and event planning because I was working full time. And it was very difficult for me being a new mom. I had my kids, I have 3 children.
Really?
Yeah. So nurturing 3 children, working a full-time job, and trying to develop Best Leaders Consulting, it was, a lot on my plate. So, but originally, Best Leaders Consulting was launched in 2001. Like structuring it, creating it, making the contacts, and with my consultant team, and formulating the vision and the mission for it. And then after for a couple of years of just structuring like the curriculum of the things that we will be focusing on, and the different workshops and seminars to offer to the community, it took some time to really put those things together.
Of course.
Yeah. So basically building the business and the structure of the business and the product and services that we will be offering to the community, it actually took some time to do those kinds of things. So in 2009, I actually got laid off from my job. at the hospital. And when I got laid off, I became a stay-at-home mom. It was pretty much difficult for me to find a job. And I started doing like YouTube videos, which my husband told me, he's like, why don't you try, you like talking about your hair, natural hair, those kinds of things. Why don't you get into creating YouTube videos and talk about something? So I started learning about how to do videos on my own.
Yeah.
And from putting together those videos, and my husband again said to me, so, well, Best Leaders Consulting is still there as far as conference and events. Why don't you turn the beauty health piece that you're focusing on in the video and do a conference for that, for Best Leaders Consulting? He said, and he started like directing me back into focusing more on launching the vision of Best Leaders Consulting, which is actually to get the leaders of the community to come together in one place, and we can offer those trainings there and all the resources as far as what they will need to meet the community, and for the community to come in as well and to meet them. So I developed this conference and event called Bringing Out the Best You, Beauty, Health, and Wellness Conference and Expo, which actually came from me bringing out the best me.
Right.
Yeah. So I started because I was talking about my hair, I was doing nail art designs on YouTube, and I felt like I was going through a transformation in myself, because having a busy career life, working as a manager in the hospital setting, and having a family life and raising children, I didn't realize how much of that time I was not focusing on myself.
Of course, yeah.
I wasn't focusing on myself. So when I got laid off, it gave me an opportunity to really focus on me, what I really love doing, what are my passion, what are my desires. And that's when the whole idea of, wait a minute, this is the time for me to bring out the best me. I started hearing my own small inner voice talking to me. I would really like to do fashion shows and hair shows and have vendors come out and sell their products and services. And I just started writing it all out. I did my research. With anything that you do in terms of business, one thing, you have to look for the template out there, because there is nothing new under the sun. So you have to find a template that is a successful template that works, and then you create and you build off of that template your own vision, your own creativity, and your own ideas off of that template. Not copying what somebody else has, but looking at the way they work and how they create and form their organization to make it become successful, and then creating what is it that I desire, my passion, and what I would like to see and what I envisioned first for me, and what I would like first. Because you have to love yourself and be in touch with yourself before you could bring something to others.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I fully agree with that. I actually call that the oxygen mask theory. They tell you secure your own mask before you secure somebody else's.
Yes.
So that really does make sense. But we'll take a quick break.
Yes.
We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, sitting here with Iodelle Chinnery. Iodelle, let's focus on now a little bit on what you were saying before. Like 2009 was the start of a transformation. And sometimes God has an interesting way of making something happen for you, making a way. You had to close the door to force you through the other door because that's your time had basically expired
Yes.
at that other position.
Yes, which I did for about like 9 years of working in that particular position, and they just experienced a massive layoff when the recession hit. So yeah, but as far as me venturing out into Best Leaders Consulting and focusing more, I believe God had to have allowed me to be laid off for me to go back fully and focused on Best Leaders Consulting.
Because you probably would have
I
kept
probably
the
would.
job
Yes.
and that because it's your security blanket.
Yes, it's a security blanket. But when
pushed
you're,
you through the
he
door.
pushed me through the door. So when you're placed in a position where you're not finding a job and you have your college degrees, because I do have my bachelor's degree in sociology and political science, and I have my master's degree in adult education, human resources development, and leadership development. So when you have all of your degrees and yet you can't find a job, you have to find creative ways in order for you to still feel like you're being useful. And
Yes.
being a stay-at-home mom is nice, to be there for your children, to go to their schools, to participate in activities and anything, but you as a person,
You still need that fulfillment,
You
especially once they're at an age where they're in class, they're at
yes,
school.
yes.
So what are you doing
What
during
am
the day?
I doing during the day? So that's where I started building on my own, because when you're starting your own business, usually you don't have the finances to pay this, especially when you're laid off and it's just one income now that's coming in. You have to find creative ways of how you will be able to build your business on very little revenue that you're getting that's coming in from your spouse, or unemployment at the time, which I was receiving, and some other pension benefits that you had to tap into your 401k because
Yeah.
because it's now a situation where you need it. But as far as building my business, a lot of things I did on my own. I built my own website, created all my own social media pages. I was writing my own press releases. I was on the phone making phone calls to companies, talking to people, emailing people, and really speaking heart to heart with a lot of these businesses that I did not have a track record as far as them knowing who I am at the time. So it was a step out in faith for me, but I realized that in stepping out in faith also I had to be human and connect with the people and let them feel my heart and my reason for wanting to do this and why I'm doing this, and explain to them what the benefits are going to be for them to become a part of what I'm doing. I must tell you that the process was not easy, because when you're jumping out in faith to do something like conference and an expo, beauty, health, and wellness, for the first time.
Yeah, it's hard to get sponsors. It's hard to get people to want. You don't have anything to show.
Nothing
You're just
to
asking
show.
them to basically believe in your
To
vision.
believe in my vision. And I spent a lot of time on my knees, praying and asking God, to show me the way. And God has a way of speaking. In my life, I've experienced Him through dreams. I would get dreams, and amazing dreams, to the point where when I wake up in the morning, I will get this profound energy and drive to go on and keep pushing, and a comfort and a peace to know that it's okay. And the defining dream that came to me when I started this conference was I dreamt that this gigantic airplane was in the sky, loaded with people.
Okay.
And to the point where it was so heavy that it was dropping out of the sky. And out of nowhere came a small airplane. And it had a characteristic of a human. And it came to the big airplane. And it started to balance it in the sky because it was dropping at a fast rate out of the sky, because it was so heavy. It was so burdened.